We now request Honorable MP Lok Sabha Cuttack, Sri Bhartrihari Mahtab, to kindly deliver his address.
Thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this program. I have been witnessing the slow progress of this type of media conclave that is happening year after year. And it is a good thing to note that it is improving with participation and with content in very many ways in relating to journalism. I'm doubly indebted to the organizer, especially Professor Padi and his institute, who has been organizing this on behalf of their faculty members and also the students, and also that too on my father's birthday anniversary. I don't know how much he has mixed with him, how much he has interacted with him, but the manner in which he is organizing such program through webinar and through different conclaves, I feel really indebted to the organization and also to Professor Padi that he has thought of a good channel to ventilate how we can progress, especially relating to journalism. I'm really indebted to all the professors and vice chancellors who are participating in this conclave today, because the names and the figures that I see in my monitor is something very gratifying. I have been participating in such programs earlier also during last 3 years, and as has been said by Professor Behera, that every conclave has a specific motto. As this time it is communication for social change, and on these aspects I have a very few issues to mention here for consideration of my viewers and also those who are listening to this. As far as I belong to journalist tribe, I can say that for last 35 to 40 years, I have been practicing journalism. And that has been taught to, what has been taught to me is something which I find in today's world very depressing, and also to a greater extent, very confusing to a great extent. And what I believe is that journalism has its core values and cardinal principles, and many news organizations and have their own code of ethics and values that guide their vocations. So in that respect, I would say if some are interested in actually knowing the different codes that guide journalists, and that is journalist database, that is accountabilityjournalism.org, where more than 400 codes are mentioned. And in those 400 codes, I would say are not totally sufficient, because every organization, every journalistic institutions maintain their own code. They value certain things, and they also maintain certain type of accountability. So in that respect, but in today's world, many a time when viewers also question to a news channel, what type of values do you cherish? Do you propagate? And what type of accountability do you maintain? In that respect, as being as I was taught in late 70s and early 80s, that every organization, especially a journalist organization, a media organization, has to maintain certain core values and has to be accountable to its readers or to its viewers. But what are those core values? Every society has a specific value system to maintain, and that value system is first and foremost is that one has to be a good person. His behavior, his utterances, his avocation, his maintaining conduct, all for certain core value. And that's how a person's character is actually evaluated. But at the same time, he has to be accountable. If he does something, if he says something, then he has some reason behind it. And that reasoning is actually the society contemplates and determines what type of person that person is, what type of a person he is. So in that respect, journalism also maintains values and also has to be accountable. And many a time we also hear journalism is free to express whatever he wants to. But as we know, as per our constitution, it's not free for all. And but rather the speech or the written words or the voice that he puts forth, which is constrained by ethical values, not constrained by the top position of that firm or organization who determines what is to be said or what is to be written, but it has to be determined by ethical values. The codes are an indication of ethical deficiency also among some media players, and a reminder not to clump all forms of journalism under a single rubric of news media. And that is the main trouble which you are witnessing today. And this reminds me of a story many of us have heard during our school days, and many of us also have read during our school days, and that is Emperor's New Cloth. And which has a consistent source of inspiration for fair evaluation of complaints without any blinkers. I see a parallel between those who adorn the coat of emperor and who, out of sheer pride, refuse to see the obvious and mislead the sovereignty, the whole country, the whole group of people who are around us. Better be aware that those people are in the court of the emperor. They always want to please the emperor. And as we see today, the institutions that do not maintain the critical distance with the ruling regime, I am of the firm opinion that journalism should be like the child. A child who, without malice, calls out the fact and should not behave like the members of a royal court. Even at this age, I'm a senior citizen now, above age of 60. I would say I always cherish to have that child's eye, to say something which is the fact, to say something without malice. And that's how to make people aware what is actually happening in this country or in and around us. I think that is the basic core value we all should cherish. I remember, even if when my father was more than 80 years old, he always had that child's eye. He always was detached, even if he was in power for such a long time. He was in active politics for such a long time. Even when he was chief minister in Odisha, that time also he was writing critical essays against his government, against his action to evolve what is to understand what is the public opinion. And that's how I think always he developed that child's eye. I remember when in 1948, that time he was chief minister, there were many things need to do. And now I'm coming back to the topic of today, communication for social change. Being in administration, he had the full authority, and he utilized that authority to stop animal sacrifice in the famous Sarala temple of today, of those days and even today. the most revered goddess of Odisha. The animal sacrifice was such a heinous act or crime that was being perpetuated, and he was against it. And he utilized the government machinery, and it was stopped in 1948. But at the same time, he also encouraged people to understand that the mother never needs a son's blood or a sacrifice. And that did not stop there. In 1948, after the demise of our Mahatma Gandhi, when the ashes were immersed in Bay of Bengal, Gandhiji had a point of view that unless Harijans enter with full dignity into the temple, he will not visit the Jagannath temple. And though being in the government, though he was a chief minister of this state, he did not utilize the government machinery. No police force was administered. It was the sheer non-violent dharana of the scheduled caste people. 12 satyagrahis were selected. They demonstrated before the Lion Gate of Jagannath temple. And on the 9th day, the temple doors opened, and the pandas and the priests, they all invited the Harijans, scheduled caste people into the temple to do the prayer. Administration was not involved. And that's how the non-violent way in which they were trained during their childhood, during their youth under Mahatma Gandhi, they utilized it, that in admitting the scheduled caste people. So, but a atmosphere was created through print media, because that time electronic media was not there. Through print media, number of dignitaries of the society, they came out openly in support of the scheduled caste people who were demonstrating before the Lion Gate to have a darshan and to have a puja of Lord Jagannath. This happened in 1948. But animal sacrifice still continued in different parts of the state. And it was in last 2 decades or so, the Katak Chandi temple, animal sacrifice also was happening. In 1986, he called the youths of this city and said, how long we are going to tolerate this heinous crime in the name of religion. He himself said that I will go and be on dharna on the Vijayadashmi day or the Navami day, Mahanavami day, that sacrifice should stop. He invited, and in a Vaishnavic culture, in a non-violent way, he saw to it that the government was forced. He was not in government during that time. He had retired from active politics or election politics since 1977. But still, he could create an atmosphere in the society, and that's how communication for social change was, Prajatantra was a medium. That's how a consciousness was developed. Therefore, I would say that yes, even today, there are a lot of evils in the society. We need social change in the society, and communication should become a weapon. But always, we should also remember, we should also always maintain a child's eye. We should criticize, but without malice. With these words, I again thank the India Media Studies and also his compatriots, and also various vice chancellors who are participating today. And I wish in today and tomorrow, when this conclave will continue, number of more ideas will also float around. Thank you very much.